Hi everyone, happy Sunday evening. I hope you've had a great weekend. I managed to get some open source coding done as well as some work-life balance. I just want to start by saying well done to Dev Journey who joined me on my first stream. This is my third. On my first stream 3 days ago. He joined GitHub and he's been very active in giving me feedback. I just want to show his GitHub page and how well he's done. So on Saturday he had 5 open source contributions, which is I think is brilliant. And today, 24th, no that's yesterday, so 5 contributions on Friday, and on Saturday, yesterday he's had 15. I mean that's brilliant for someone who only joined a few days ago to GitHub. So definitely keep it up, and I hope everyone else does the same as well. I think that's brilliant. Open source, you can contribute to open source to existing projects, or you can contribute to your own projects. It's all a contribution. And I want to show you tonight on my open source pairing with Eddie live stream that it's simple to do so. So I'm wearing my FOSDEM, don't know if you can see it, my FOSDEM hoodie. FOSDEM's a conference in Brussels. It's a free conference and it's really interesting. You should to check it out and have a look. So let me close this tab and we'll see who we're going to contribute to first. So here's Andrew Cunliffe. You might recognize the name. He joins the stream as Venzra. And he's a really clever guy, really good guy. I really enjoy working with him, and he's a good friend of mine. So what I thought I'd do, so he's got this project, Angular 4, Express 4, and Cucumber, and it's a little bit old. I think it probably needs updating to Angular 5, but that's fine. What I was going to do is just raise an issue to say that he's got automated tests, because further down here he has execute tests, npm run tests. So what I thought was, I noticed there's no Travis CI or Circle CI or whichever CI is your favorite. I'm wearing my Jenkins hat again, so shout out to Jenkins. So I thought we'd just raise an issue, really simple contribution. So I actually think I don't have any for contributions for today. I can even tell you, I do have 1 contribution for today. Okay, well let's make it 2. So I'm going to suggest add CI server to run automated tests. That's all. Submit that. That's now on Andrew's project. And if I go back to my page and refresh it, the 1 will change to a 2. 2 contributions. So it's that easy. Andrew might close it. He might say that's not something I want to do, and that's fine, but I still contributed and gave the idea nonetheless. So next we're going to go on to Beverly. Beverly does lots of open source work and helps out at CodeBar Oxford. So what I thought, a very simple small contribution. Her project's recently updated 6 days ago, and there aren't much issues or pull requests, so I thought let's just be polite, send her a pull request. So I just looked in index, and I thought the indentation, we can maybe tidy that up and indent further down here. So what we need to do is fork our project first. So if we do a fork, we'll fork it to my environment or my account. Ignore all the others, you probably won't have those. So let's do a fork. Okay, now it's forked. You can see it's Eddie Jowd hello, and it's forked from Beverly hello. So now I'm going to clone my forked version. So git clone and paste in that URL. Type in my password. You probably won't get a password if you haven't set it up with your SSH keys. So now let's go into that project, hello, and let's open Atom, as it's a simple change what we need to do. Anyone watching, if you do have any questions, any thoughts, do let me know, and I'll happily answer. If I don't know the answer, I will try and find out, or usually know someone who does. So let's open index. We can remove some of the spacing. So let's remove that. We don't need the 2 spaces down here. You can have one space between the head and the body. I think that's fine. I can have one space between here as well. Let's indent that. And that will be down here. We can create a space here. And then we need to indent everything inside body. I think it looks a bit better, it looks a bit tidier. Oh, wait a second. Body is within HTML, so actually we should indent all of that one more. There we go. So you've got HTML tag, opening HTML tag, then the head, and then body, and everything else is inside. So that's indented correctly. That's a really simple contribution, but it is still a contribution. So now we've done that, we can do a commit. So let's create a branch. Actually, in fact, and I always forget, we should create an issue on the original repo to line it up with. So if we go new and say reformatted index file, and we probably should say actually used as demo for my Twitch live stream. Use the demo for my open source contribution on Twitch live stream. Okay, so we've created that, and now let's we've actually got an issue number. It says number 2. So let's create a branch. Let's do this properly today. I'm not in too much of a rush like I was yesterday, so you can probably tell I'm speaking a bit slower. So we'll do git checkout -b. That means it will create the branch for us, and we'll call it issue-2. So it's created a new branch, and it's checked us out into that branch. So you can see here it says issue-2. Now let's commit this code. So git commit -m, and then brackets within the quotes. So brackets within the quotes. Message, the commit message within the quotes. It's been a long weekend. Okay, the message will be, I always like to start off with the issue number, which is number 2, because then GitHub will tie the commit to the issue number. You will see it here on the left underneath with the commits. And we'll say reformatted index file. So we can commit that, and we could push it, but it will only push to our fork. And hey, thanks for the support. I'm not able to pronounce your username. Valdini BR. Thanks for joining. So I could, as I've done a commit, and I could push it, but it'll only go to my repo, and we can do that. But I won't be able to push it to. Ignore me. I'm thinking of pulling from the upstream. So let's do a push. I'm writing in the wrong channel, in the wrong browser, in the wrong window even. Okay, something is not working now. Why is my keyboard not working? Okay, technical difficulties. Bear with me 1 minute. Why does the keyboard not type? I'll turn it off on again. I guess it's not a live stream without some technical issues. Okay, turn my keyboard off and on. Still no joy. My mouse works. Aha, okay, we're back. Right, so as I was saying, I've done the commit for my changes, and we're going to push it up. And we're pushing it up to my version of the repos of my fork. And if we go to, this is my fork, and I refresh it, it should say, hey, you've created a branch, do you want to create a pull request? And it usually auto-completes it quite well and says, do you want to send my fork branch issue2 to the original repo. I'll say let's do that. So create pull request. That's another contribution for today. So that was easy. I've got one more that I would like to do. If anyone does have any questions, do jump in and ask. Or if I make a mistake, make some improvements, do let me know. So what's next? Okay, last but not least, we have just addapicnic.com. I noticed that they're live, so if I copy this, their website is live, but there's no screenshot. So I was keen to take a screenshot and add it into the README. So let's do that. So first of all, I'm going to create an issue. I seem to have 9 already. Let's create another one. Overscud, thanks for joining as well. So, okay, so what we're going to do is add website screenshot to README. So this me creating the issue will that will count as a contribution. So that's another contribution I've done today. But we're actually going to do this work. I can't assign it to me because it's not my repo, but we're actually going to do the work. So if I fork the project into my account, again, ignore all the others. You probably won't have as many as those. Once the fork is complete, we can clone our fork. And just go up a directory and go git clone that project. You might not get asked a password, it depends on how you set up your SSH keys or if you're going over HTTPS. Wow, it's a big project, 30 megs, 40 megs, 50 megs, still climbing, 60, 70, I guess a lot of images, 80, 90 megabytes, what do you reckon, guess, 110? No, I'm wrong, past 110, already at 120, 130, going at almost 7 megabytes a second, 160. Anyone want to take a guess where it's going to kind of finish? Well, it says 57%, so I'm guessing it's going to be what, 400 megabytes? Anyone guess? Write in the chat. Approaching 300. Okay, it's still climbing. It's a big clone. I'm really keen on keeping repositories small and light. Binaries really shouldn't be kept in the repo if possible. So that was how big? 370. Okay, I was close at guessing 400. So now we've got that project. Let's go into it. I've got it locally. Okay, so I want to take a screenshot of the website. I might scroll up slightly to get a bit more in. If I take a screenshot. There we go. And I can now close that. And if I go back to the original repo where I created the issue, what I can do is I can open my issue, I can hit edit, and I can drag and drop the image in, and it will automatically get uploaded. And therefore in the actual repo I don't add the image, I add a link. So let me just grab my screenshots, bear with me. Okay, so if I drag and drop that screenshot in, it's uploading, and you can hit preview and you will see the image. There we go. So what I want to do is grab this as well for the actual code. So if I open Atom and we open their readme.md, add a screenshot just above the sponsored, I think it's probably best. And if I remember correctly for Markdown, it's like this. So this is the image. You can say website screenshot. We'll be able to see this on our repo and how it looks. So I've done that. So let's commit that to ours. So if I do git commit -m, the message is in the double quotes. Then after that, you can put dot for all files if you're happy to commit all the changed files, or you can actually specify the file, like readme.markdown, readme.md. But in this case, because I've only changed one file, the dot and typing in readme should be the same. If I want to check, if I want to do a git status, rather than losing what I've just typed, on the keyboard, actually can do Control U, and it's like a copy and paste, and then Control Y to paste it. So Control U to copy it, or cut it I should say, Control Y to paste it. What OS am I using? I'm using a Mac, yes. So just a quick overview on my setup. I'm using Mac, Atom at the moment, but I prefer IntelliJ usually for I guess the bigger projects. And on my terminal, I'm using the profile. If I can find it. See, it's just a default profile built in. I can't find it. It is called Pro. So I'm using that, and I've got the iMac Pro right in front of me, and the two Apple screens, 5K screens on either side. So it's the same screen effectively as the iMac Pro in front of me, and then a 49-inch 4K LG screen above. So I've done Control U, so that's now kind of cut effectively in my terminal, and I can do a git status -s, and I can see that the readme's changed, and I could also do a git diff if I want to see what's changed, and it says that I've changed a few more things. Interesting. Why does it think I have... probably when I hit save, I probably removed white space maybe. Well, we can push it up to GitHub and have a look. GitHub's better, I think, at the diff. It's more, it gives more information. So let's, I'm writing git commit, and I completely forgot that I have it in my terminal kind of clipboard, as it were. I just need to go here and write a message. I like to use the issue number at the beginning of my commit message, so it's issue number 64. So #64. So therefore it will tie it to GitHub, will tie it and my commit to the issue underneath here. You'll see in the timeline. Added website screenshot to readme. Commit that, and if we push that up, my password. That's gone up. So if I actually refresh this page, you'll see now you've actually got the commit, and I can actually kick it. And I've got a nice verified. I use a GPG key. What do you do for a living? Sven Hoff, thanks for joining. I'm a software engineer, so I code, I do web dev for a living. What does everyone else do and joining? Are you all techies? Are you coders? Are you wanting to get into coding, or are you experienced? It's interesting to hear, how I should tailor, I guess, my conversation to the audience that I have. I mean, the ones I'm doing at the moment, where I'm practicing live streaming, I'm tailoring it a bit more into just getting into open source, and I think my mouse has just gone dead. Nice. Okay, I can use my. It has gone dead. That's fine. I've got a trackpad. I can just make do with that for the next kind of 15 minutes. So, what was I saying? Java dev. Nice. Yeah, IntelliJ. I do love my IntelliJ. For the simple kind of changes I'm making just for this, my third live stream, just to kind of get myself into the flow of things, because I found it quite nerve-wracking to live stream. So I'm doing small stuff, so I'm just using Atom. But when I get into, I want to do a lot more coding. I do coding on one of my projects called Dashboard Hub, and with that I use IntelliJ. And I want to kind of demo me writing my cucumber tests, my step definitions. It's not in Java, it's in Node, so Node and serverless for the, which is on AWS Lambda for the backend, and Angular 5 for the front end. So I'm hoping next week I'll start streaming more on those. I've just pushed that up, so let me actually create a pull request. So I showed you earlier that I can create a pull request from my fork, but I can also do it from the original repo. All you have to do is click this link at the top that says compare across forks, and I can then select my fork. I can select my branch, and it will show me. Okay, so this is why the git diff showed me more lines changed. So when I hit save on Atom, it automatically removed the empty space at the end of the line, which is much better. And this is what I changed. So, and actually if we go back to this tab here and I refresh, the README on here should include the screenshot. So this is what it will look like. Okay, so let me hit create pull request. And I'm not going to write a message. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. And we create a pull request. So, merge blocked, review required. So that's fine. That's for them to do, them to approve it or not approve it, and so on. So that was my 3 contributions that I was going to do to open source tonight, just so I can keep practicing streaming. Any suggestions, any questions, please let me know now, or post or comment. Let me just check how many I did today. So I got 8 contributions today, and I did that in the last, been streaming for 23 minutes. So everyone can contribute. Those were to not to my contributions. My projects. They were to other projects. But this is the project I mentioned earlier about Dashboard Hub Pipeline Dashboard, where I really want to show you what I've been developing on this in next week or in the near future, and get all of you contributing as well. Love to have contributions. They can be small or large, I don't mind. They don't have to be code. So if we've got any coders there, then great. But if we haven't, if you've got people who just want to do help with documentation, or even just reformatting, or if you notice some inconsistencies, I welcome all pull requests. And if you need help, we can pair together and we can get you contribution to open source. So just to give you a quick, I'll just go through the README really quickly just to show you this is the sort of thing that I'm working on. It doesn't change any of your existing tools. The idea of Dashboard Hub is to, I should know my elevator pitch really, shouldn't I? Is to kind of show you your pipeline for your projects. If your project's a library or even a whole platform or an app, it's to show you the deployment stage of that environment. So you can see here on the screenshot, I've got Dashboard Hub test environment and Dashboard Hub, and it shows you what version is in what environment. So, okay, this isn't quite up to date. I can actually go to it and actually show you for real, it'll probably be better. So, if I make that full screen as well, so you can get the menu out. So if you look, let me pick my project again. So Dashboard Hub website, for example, is running this version, and it had 62 releases. It's got monitoring enabled, and it's got 752 successful monitors and 7 failed, and the last one took 141 milliseconds, and it was last updated 10 days ago. And Dashboard Hub test, that's this application, but hosted on pipeline-test, and then here's the production one just below. And you can see I've done a lot more releases to test than I have done to production. And production is running, so the one you're looking at now, pipeline.dashboardhub.io, is running only version 08 with release 1194. But my test version is a lot more advanced. I actually need to deploy to production quite soon. And and I've set up Dashboard Hub to have full CI and CD, so that as I merge into the relevant branches, so for test, it's just develop, and for production, it's the master branch, it automatically deploys out. So it takes about 10 minutes to do the whole build of the back end and front end, running the tests and then deploying it. So I'm quite keen to show people how I've done that and how simple it was to do. And so this is Dashboard Hub, but I will give a proper demo of this another time. That wasn't my focus today. Does anyone have any questions before I call it a day? Don't be shy, I don't bite, and like I said, hopefully I can answer the questions. If I can't, I'll find out, or I'll probably know someone who does know an answer. So had a couple more people join us. Some of the names I can't pronounce or could be a bit rude if I pronounce them wrong, so I won't pronounce them, but thank you very much for joining us. AWS Lambda. Yes, so I'm using the serverless framework with Node on AWS Lambda for Dashboard Hub, and it's brilliant. It starts up a new instance for each request. Well, rather than deploying a whole application, you deploy a function. So your function's deployed, and after I think 30 minutes of that function not being used, it does go to sleep. I don't know if it's an entire instance. Well, you do, because you can't store anything to disk because there's no guarantee you'll get it. So I guess new instance maybe is the right thing to say actually. So yes, and you get, I mean, you shouldn't be advertising for AWS, they're not paying me just yet, but you get 1 million free AWS Lambda requests per month. And it does actually go quite a long way. So with Dashboard Hub, I've got monitoring. So every 30 minutes, any project that's set up monitoring will get a ping, and so that will count as a request. And actually, it counts as the amount of monitors plus one, because I have a cron on AWS Lambda that goes and finds all the monitors and then calls a new function for each monitor. So say if it finds 10 monitors, it has the function itself that's gone to get those monitors, and then you'll have plus 10, one function called for each of those monitors. So it'll be 11. And I've load tested my AWS or my API with about 1,000 users, and the 1,000th user didn't even notice any change in performance. It scales so well. I'm really impressed. I've still got lots to learn on it. But yeah, it scales really well without any effort from me, so that's really useful. And I'm also using DynamoDB for the storage, for the database. I've got a love-hate relationship with that, to be honest, because yes, they've got a nice free tier as well, so it integrates really well with the AWS platform. It can listen for events, and it can send events and so on. It ties in S3 and serverless, so that's good. But yeah, searching and indexing is a bit of a pain on DynamoDB. I haven't quite cracked it. I haven't spent too much time on that part, to be honest, because Dashboard Hub is mainly CRUD stuff at the moment. So yeah, I haven't had too much of an issue with DynamoDB. But serverless, big thumbs up. DynamoDB, in the middle, love-hate relationship. So maybe like that, actually, yes. So that's good. It is good, I'm trying, and we'll see how we get on. But I'd love to give if people are interested, I'd love to give a proper technical demo from the ground up of what I've done with Dynamo, and it's got what's it called? Time to live. Can't think of the 3 letters now. But yeah, so you can put expiries on your tables. So on my monitoring tables, after 7 days, it just the data just drops off, which is really useful. You don't have to worry about cleaning up and data and so on. Sounds brilliant for certain use cases. Yeah, absolutely. But AWS typically turns out to be more expensive than expected. True, especially if you add up all additional costs of storage traffic. Don't know the pricing works in Lambda. I agree. I have known people who have used serverless in, I guess, a bigger company, and it starts off really cheap, and then it exponentially grows really fast because with serverless, to get the API on the front of Lambda, you need to use API Gateway. And a few other bits and pieces as well. You probably have certificate manager and other bits and pieces. So, and you got the actual amount of bandwidth and traffic used. But over the last few months, I haven't spent more than $1 on any of my AWS, and I'm using S3 for the UI. So Angular 5 CI will deploy out to S3, and it will use CloudFront, so it's distributed around the world, and it will clear the caches. And with the API, it uses API Gateway, Lambda, and DynamoDB, and I haven't been charged more than $1. Actually, yeah, I think probably about 70 cents or P or something. It's been really cheap. And I did something funny at a hackathon. I created an Alexa skill. Just the first time I actually used AWS Lambda with this, and I used a serverless framework at the same time. And ever since I've deployed that skill onto the skill app store, I don't know if that's the right word, I got a free Alexa, and I got a free Alexa socks. And also every month, AWS keeps sending me $100 credit to say thank you for, deploying your skill. Here's $100 to your account. But so that 70 cents or $1 that I said to you I get charged, I don't actually get charged, because this £100 a month credit just keeps covering it, and I just waste the other $99 because my AWS account is what I'm using isn't that expensive. So I might actually run up an Elasticsearch instance, so therefore I can do some really good aggregations on data and so on. Yeah, they do. When I went to Web Summit last year, in November in Lisbon. That was a crazy conference, and I'll talk about that another time. But I went to the AWS, had a huge section, and they had all these different workshops. And yeah, they were pushing a lot of the voice stuff, and yeah, they really were. So that was quite interesting. I highly recommend going. It's yeah, in Lisbon in November again this year. So it was good. It was an intense 3.5 days, but it's good to meet people, network, and you know, AWS has got so many services. I think every month they bring out like some new service. So it's quite good to go and just see what they've brought out and how they use it. I mean, they were using DynamoDB for and Lambda for real-time chat, and actually there was another service involved in that, because you cannot subscribe to Lambda because the function dies after it runs. So they used IoT, which is meant for IoT devices, but you could use it for PubSub. So you can subscribe to the IoT service. They were talking a bit about that, and that's stuff I really want to get into for Dashboard Hub. So at the moment, unfortunately, I haven't got the website open, this is just a screenshot. But yeah, to get the updated data, you need to hit the refresh button, or I can easily get Angular to make another API request and update the data on the page every 30 seconds, 60 seconds. But the reason why I haven't done that, I really want to use the IoT service and subscribe to it, and so it can get pushed to in real time. So that's my idea. So the way I can do that is when an event comes into Lambda and it goes into DynamoDB, I can actually get DynamoDB to send a trigger every time there's been a change, be it an update, be it a new entry, and then it will push the data to IoT, and IoT will send out to everyone that's subscribed to it. And when I come to do the mobile app for Dashboard Hub, that becomes really important, I think, so people can get notifications and so on. But yeah, thank you again for your questions and your support. It makes talking, I guess, a lot easier. So I was a bit nervous at the beginning, but I feel less nervous now. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And by all means, send me a message, or these videos go into the video section on Twitch afterwards. And I'm still learning if people can comment on that. But I'm also actually uploading these to YouTube, because I think the videos go after like 14 days or something. So yeah, I'm uploading to YouTube as well, so people can comment and so on. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your kind words and your support. So yes, and I hope to be, I might not be on tomorrow. I want to try and do 5:30 every day for half an hour, and I'm going to build up to more I guess more detailed and more hardcore tech stuff. And but Tuesday, I plan to be back on it Tuesday at 5:30 UK time. So I don't know if people are around the world, or if you're in the UK now. But actually, it'd be interesting. Before I head off, it'd be really interesting to know if people can type the country they're in or the time zone, just to see who's joined us. Because we've got about 4 or 5 people. That's me trying to use my mouse and it's flat. Can't believe it. Every stream of the last, so the 3 days is on 3 days of streaming, and every day I've had some technical issue happen. So hopefully when I come to do kind of, I guess, the more real one, or more polished ones next week, I won't have so many issues. Belgium, nice. So you must know about FOSDEM. Okay, I'm wearing my FOSDEM hoodie. Do you recognize it? February in FOSDEM, best. One of the best conferences I go to. I love it. I go every year, and it's really local for you. But yeah, definitely worth. I'm sure you go to it. It's a big event. So yeah. Well, okay, you're 2 hours ahead. So 2 hours ahead, I think. So it's probably 9:40 there. Got school tomorrow. Well, school. Well, I say work, but I always say school. And we've all got school. So yeah. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you again for joining me. There's me trying to use my mouse again. And I will hopefully see you all soon. Thank you again. Take care. Bye.